Right now, in your own home, there's something you consume nearly every day, believing it's perfectly safe, yet it's gradually undermining two of the most essential organs you have. My name is Dr. Dan Carter, and I've devoted much of my career to treating patients whose kidney damage could have been avoided entirely. People who show up only once things have already progressed too far. It's heartbreaking, because the culprit was right there on their kitchen counter all along. Today I'm going to speak plainly. No medical terminology, no technical talk. Just a straightforward conversation, as if we were face to face. I'm going to expose the hidden substance that's quietly wrecking your kidneys without you even knowing. And the disturbing truth is that you've probably already had some today. Stick with me. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly how this works, why it's so harmful, and, most crucially, how to shield yourself before any lasting harm is done. Thank you for being here and dedicating a few minutes to the most precious thing we all share, our well-being. As a doctor, my mission goes beyond treating disease. It's about helping people sidestep it altogether. And one of the most difficult aspects of my work is watching vibrant, energetic people grapple with kidney damage that never had to happen. The trouble with kidneys is that they deteriorate without fanfare. They're the quiet workhorses of your entire system. Think of it like this. Imagine owning the world's most sophisticated water filtration system, one that operates around the clock, every single day, without pause. That's essentially what your kidneys do. They process every last drop of blood in your body, stripping out toxins, metabolic waste, and surplus fluid. But filtration is only part of what they handle. They manage blood pressure. They support the production of red blood cells to ward off anemia. They maintain bone density. They form the bedrock that keeps all your other systems running properly. So what happens when that system begins to break down? There's no warning bell, no sudden stabbing pain. Chronic kidney disease operates like a burglar. It creeps in gradually, year after year, and by the time you notice unmistakable signs, puffy ankles, a bone-deep exhaustion that sleep won't fix, unexpected muscle spasms, the deterioration may already be extensive, sometimes beyond repair. I've sat across from far too many older patients who arrived at my office scared and bewildered, staring down dialysis or even a transplant. And the question that always lingers is the same. How did I miss this? The answer is painful. Nobody laid it out for them clearly enough. The everyday toxins that were quietly chipping away at their health. That's precisely why I'm sharing this, because knowledge is the strongest shield you have. And today, I want to put that shield in your hands. We're going to pull the mask off several of these hidden threats. I've arranged them in order, from the most common to what I believe is the most perilous of all. So stay with me. What you learn in the next few minutes could genuinely alter the trajectory of your health. Before we dive into the list, it helps to understand why we grow more susceptible to these threats as we age. Getting older rewrites the rules. Just as our vision dims or our hair goes silver, kidneys age too. Their filtering power, what physicians call the glomerular filtration rate, drops bit by bit with every passing decade. Think of it like a car engine with a lot of mileage. It still runs, sure, but it no longer has the horsepower it had when it rolled off the lot. Now imagine that instead of feeding that high-mileage engine premium fuel, you fill the tank with cheap gas and force it up steep inclines every single day. What do you suppose happens? It wears out far sooner than it should. That's exactly what many of us unknowingly do to our kidneys. For 50, 60, or 70 years, we expose them to substances that seemed inconsequential in our youth, but left behind tiny scars. Those scars pile up, and it's this cumulative toll that can ultimately tip the scales toward kidney failure. On top of that, aging makes conditions like high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes increasingly likely. And I want to be absolutely clear. These two diseases are the principal drivers of chronic kidney disease across the globe. They act like twin hammers, relentlessly pounding the intricate internal architecture of your kidneys. That means anything that feeds or aggravates diabetes and hypertension is a direct assault on kidney health. Today, we're going to name those assailants. To keep things crystal clear, I've compiled a list of 4 threats. We'll begin with one that isn't eaten or drunk, yet is equally destructive. From there, we'll work our way up to number 1, the most hazardous, most habit-forming, and most pervasive of them all, the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing. Let's get started. Threat number 4, A sedentary lifestyle, the stagnant water choking your kidneys. The first item on our list may catch you off guard because it's not something you ingest, it's something you fail to do. I'm referring to physical inactivity, spending hour after hour seated, whether in front of the television, a book, or a screen. You might wonder, what does sitting around have to do with my kidneys? The answer? Everything. Your kidneys rely on robust, steady blood flow to carry out their work. Picture a strong river. The current moves forcefully, sweeps away debris, and keeps the water clean. Now picture a motionless puddle. Silt accumulates, everything stalls, and the water turns foul. Your circulatory system is that river. When you move, when you walk, your heart pumps harder and blood courses energetically through your body, reaching the millions of microscopic filters inside your kidneys with real force. That flow empowers them to cleanse your system effectively. But when you sit for hours on end, everything decelerates. Blood flow turns sluggish, like water pooling in a ditch. And that creates ideal conditions for the kidney's worst adversaries to gain a foothold: obesity, elevated blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes. When you don't move, your body can't process blood sugar efficiently. That paves the way for insulin resistance and eventually diabetes. Inactivity also encourages weight gain, which forces your heart to labor harder and pushes blood pressure upward. Every surplus pound is an added strain on your kidneys. The remedy: get moving. And don't worry, you don't need to transform into an athlete overnight. The answer is simpler than you'd think. Start by interrupting prolonged sitting. Set a phone alarm for every hour. When it sounds, stand up. Stroll around the house. Pour yourself some water. Do a few stretches. That small act alone reignites your circulation. The next step is a daily walk. It doesn't have to be long. Begin with 10 minutes around the neighborhood. The following week, aim for 15. What matters is regularity, not intensity. Walking is one of the finest things you can do for your body. It strengthens your heart, regulates blood sugar, fortifies bones, and, most importantly, channels healthy blood flow straight to your kidneys. If mobility is a challenge, there are wonderful exercises you can perform from a chair. Swing your arms, raise your legs, circle your ankles. It all adds up. Any motion beats none at all. Think of the river. Every step you take sends a fresh wave of clean blood to your kidneys. Threat number 3, the false safety of harmless painkillers. This one lurks in plain view in practically every household medicine cabinet. It's the tablet you grab without a second thought when a headache strikes, your back acts up, or arthritis flares. I'm referring to non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, commonly called NSAIDs. Brands containing ibuprofen, naproxen, and diclofenac are household names. Millions of people take them routinely, reasoning that since they're available without a prescription, they must be harmless. That's the great misconception. While NSAIDs are effective at easing pain, frequent or prolonged use, particularly at higher doses, can be genuinely damaging to the kidneys, especially for older adults. Let me break down the mechanism in plain terms. For your kidneys to receive sufficient blood flow, your body manufactures substances called prostaglandins that keep the small arteries within the kidneys adequately dilated. The catch is that NSAIDs function by suppressing those very prostaglandins in order to reduce pain elsewhere. But they don't discriminate. They also suppress the prostaglandins that safeguard your kidneys. The consequence is that the arteries inside the kidneys tighten and constrict, and the delivery of blood and oxygen to them plummets. Imagine pinching a garden hose while trying to water a plant. The water can't reach the roots, and the plant starts to wilt. The same thing occurs in your kidneys. But the real peril lies in how quietly the harm unfolds. Popping these pills every day for chronic conditions like arthritis is akin to pinching and releasing that hose repeatedly, day in and day out. Over time, the filters become scarred and cease to work. It's a gradual process that produces no warning signs until the window for action has already closed. The remedy: respect both the pain and the pill. Does this mean you should simply endure the suffering? Absolutely not. Quality of life matters. The key is to be thoughtful about it, and above all, to involve your physician. First and foremost, never self-prescribe NSAIDs on an ongoing basis. If pain persists beyond a few days, the solution isn't to keep taking pills. It's to consult your doctor and identify the root cause. The objective isn't to muffle the alarm, it's to locate the fire. Second, be candid with your doctor about everything you take. That includes vitamins, herbal remedies, and over-the-counter products. Many cold medications and sleep aids contain hidden NSAIDs you might not realize are there. Third, look into alternatives. For occasional discomfort, acetaminophen is generally gentler on the kidneys when used at the proper dosage. And consider non-drug approaches: physical therapy, warm compresses, cold packs, stretching routines. These can work wonders and reduce your reliance on painkillers. The takeaway: NSAIDs are potent medications. Using them now and then is reasonable. Depending on them daily without medical guidance is a gamble with your kidney health. Threat number 2. Salt, the invisible adversary in your food. This may be the most underappreciated danger of all. It's found in kitchens everywhere, and nearly everyone underestimates how much they're actually taking in. I'm talking about salt, or more accurately, sodium. Many of my patients say, "But doctor, I hardly ever touch the salt shaker." And therein lies the great misunderstanding. The issue isn't the salt you add at the table. It's the enormous quantity of sodium concealed within processed foods. Estimates suggest that upward of 75% of the sodium we consume originates there, not from the shaker. It's in bread, cold cuts, cheese, canned soups, condiments, frozen dinners, and virtually anything sold in a package. The food industry relies on it to prolong shelf life and boost taste. It's an unseen aggressor. And why is it so destructive? Your body requires a modest amount of sodium to function, but when you flood it with excess, the equilibrium collapses. To dilute all that sodium, your body holds on to fluid. You feel thirstier. Your kidneys receive the signal to retain every drop of water. The upshot is that blood volume in your arteries swells, and the pressure inside them surges. That's hypertension. Hypertension ranks as the second leading driver of kidney failure. The filters inside your kidneys consist of an intricate web of exceptionally delicate, minute blood vessels. Imagine trying to clean a piece of fine silk with a pressure washer at full blast. You'd shred it. That's precisely what chronically elevated blood pressure does to your kidneys. Day after day, it batters them, scars them, and ultimately destroys them in a relentless cycle. The remedy? Become a label sleuth. Defending yourself against this threat demands a shift in how you approach food. It's not about resigning yourself to bland, flavorless meals. It's about eating with awareness. Your most potent weapon is learning to decipher nutrition labels. Flip the package over and check the sodium content. You'll be astonished by the sodium levels in foods that don't even taste particularly salty, things like certain breakfast cereals and biscuits. The standard recommendation is to keep intake below 2,000 to 2,300 milligrams daily. If you already have elevated blood pressure, your target should be closer to 1,500 milligrams. Second, cook at home more often. When you prepare your own meals, you have full command over what goes into them. Third, rediscover authentic flavor. Nature provides an entire toolkit of herbs and spices that can elevate any dish: garlic, onion, black pepper, oregano, rosemary, turmeric, cumin, paprika. A squeeze of lemon or a splash of vinegar also adds wonderful brightness without a single milligram of sodium. And here's a handy trick. If you buy canned vegetables, rinse them well under running water before cooking. That one step alone washes away a significant portion of the added sodium. Within a few weeks, your palate will reset, and you'll begin to appreciate the true flavors of food. It's genuinely freeing. Threat number 1. Sugar and refined flour, the sweet and lethal pair. We've discussed inactivity, painkillers, and salt, all formidable dangers. But now we arrive at what I regard as the paramount threat, the unchallenged king of silent destruction, the most addictive, the most omnipresent in our daily diets, and the one that inflicts the most devastating harm on your kidneys. This isn't some exotic chemical. It's something we link to celebration, to comfort, to reward. I'm talking about sugar, and its constant companion, refined flour. That sweet white powder, desserts, carbonated drinks, but also white bread, standard pasta, and packaged cookies. In my experience, this pair is the fundamental reason diabetes has risen to become the leading cause of kidney failure worldwide. It's a pattern I witness over and over. Excessive intake of sugar and refined flour fueling diabetes, diabetes driving kidney deterioration leading to dialysis. Why do I feel so strongly about this? Because sugar and refined flour, which your body converts to sugar almost instantaneously, don't strike from just one direction. They mount a coordinated offensive on multiple fronts simultaneously. The first front, a direct pathway to diabetes. Diabetes is the foremost cause of kidney failure, and overconsumption of sugar and refined flour is the primary engine behind type 2 diabetes. When you eat them, they unleash a torrent of glucose into your bloodstream. The pancreas scrambles, pumping out insulin to bring things under control. When this cycle repeats every single day, your cells progressively lose their sensitivity to insulin, and sugar remains elevated in the blood. That's how type 2 diabetes takes root. And once blood sugar stays chronically high, the consequences for the kidneys are dire. Sugar essentially hardens the kidney filters, making them stiff and obliterating their function. This condition is known as diabetic nephropathy, and it's the fastest road to dialysis. The second front, high blood pressure. We once assumed salt was the sole villain behind hypertension, but current evidence shows that sugar is equally harmful, potentially even more so. A sugar-laden diet raises blood pressure on its own, meaning that even if you manage your sodium perfectly, sugar will keep assaulting your kidneys. The third front, covert inflammation. Sugar acts like a slow-burning fire inside your body. It provokes chronic, low-level inflammation that erodes the inner walls of all your arteries, including those within your kidneys. The fourth front, excess weight and fatty liver. Surplus sugar that your body doesn't burn gets converted to fat. That fat accumulates, propels obesity, itself an independent risk factor for kidney disease, and settles in the liver, triggering fatty liver disease, yet another condition that disrupts your metabolic balance and further harms the kidneys. As you can see, it's a siege from every angle. That's why I call it the #1 threat. The remedy: reclaim control. The heartening news is that this adversary can be overcome, and the key is awareness. First, recognize that sugar wears many disguises on ingredient lists. High fructose corn syrup, dextrose, sucrose, maltose, they're all different labels for the same substance. Second, cut out the most glaring sources. Sugary beverages, sodas, store-bought fruit juices, sweetened iced teas are liquid sugar. A single can of soda can pack more than 10 teaspoons. Swap them for water, sparkling water with a wedge of lemon, or herbal teas. This one adjustment alone may be the most impactful thing you can do for your kidneys. Third, watch out for low-fat products. Manufacturers frequently strip out the fat and compensate with added sugar to preserve palatability. Always opt for the unaltered version. Plain yogurt over flavored, then top it with your own fresh fruit. Fourth, trade white flour for whole grains. Genuine whole grain bread, brown rice, traditional oats. The fiber they contain slows the rate at which sugar enters your bloodstream. And finally, embrace whole, real food. Fruits, vegetables, legumes, meat, fish, eggs, nuts. When your diet revolves around unprocessed ingredients, sugar and refined flour virtually vanish on their own. Freeing yourself from sugar is the single most powerful act of defense you can offer your kidneys. We've covered a lot of important territory today. 4 silent threats to your kidney health. Number 4. A sedentary existence that lets your circulation stagnate. Number 3. Over-the-counter painkillers that can quietly suffocate your kidneys. Number 2. Concealed salt that sends your blood pressure soaring. Number 1. Sugar and refined flour, the duo that wages all-out war on your body. You might feel a bit overwhelmed right now, and I understand that completely. But my intention was never to scare you. It was to arm you with the knowledge you need to make wiser choices. The truth, even when it's uncomfortable, is the only thing that truly puts you in the driver's seat. Kidney disease doesn't have to be your destiny. Every one of these threats is within your power to address. You choose whether to get out of the chair. You choose whether to consult your doctor before taking another pill. You choose whether to turn the package over and scrutinize the label. You choose whether to reach for water instead of soda. It's not about overhauling everything at once. It's about taking one modest step today and another one tomorrow. Every home-cooked meal is a win. Every walk around the block adds another layer of protection for your kidneys. You have the ability to rewrite your health story, starting right now. If this opened your eyes or prompted you to reconsider something, I'd like to ask one favor. Pass it along. Send it to your children, your partner, a friend, a neighbor. Information that can safeguard someone's health deserves to reach as many people as possible. And if you'd like to keep receiving clear, actionable health guidance, Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Now I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, what caught you most off guard about what we covered today? Is there something you didn't know before? Something you're planning to change starting now? I read every comment, and your responses help me understand what this community needs most. Thank you for being here. Thank you for investing this time in what matters most. Remember, your kidneys labor tirelessly for you every single second of every single day. Return the favor with mindful choices. I'm Dr. Dan Carter. I wish you a long, vibrant, and energetic life. Look after your kidneys. Look after yourself. I'll see you in the next one.